Be sure to check out my video titled Deadpool Explained. There you'll find a more in-depth explanation of Deadpool and his publication history. So what I wanted to do here is have a discussion on the character of Deadpool. And what I'm hoping is that by the end of this video, you'll have an understanding of why so many people love him, and by extension, why he's one of Marvel's most popular characters. So while the reason for Deadpool's creation is well known by comic book fans to have its roots in the character Deathstroke, an antagonist from DC's lineup of Teen Titans stories, the original depiction of Deadpool as he was created in 1991 by Rob Liefeld and Fabian Nicieza was in fact Deathstroke down to a T. Much like Deathstroke, Deadpool was a serious mercenary highly skilled in his trade and was initially hired to kill the mutant Cable in New Mutants issue number 98. Now following his first appearance in New Mutants issue number 98, while Deadpool saw a share of features alongside characters and teams in Marvel Comics including Wolverine, Daredevil, the Avengers, and Heroes for Hire, the initial appearance of the Deadpool character was a bit of a refreshing introduction. As a result, under Mark Waid in 1994, Deadpool was given a mini-series titled Sins of the Past, a story which garnered a bit of attention, ultimately leading to Marvel launching a solo series under fledgling writer Joe Kelly in 1997. In my previous video on Deadpool Explained, we discussed the impact Joe Kelly had on the Deadpool character. Where Rob Liefeld's Deadpool was serious and modeled to be identical to DC's Deathstroke, Joe Kelly instead chose to take a more comedic approach. And so what I want to do here is I want to wind the clock back, and I want to have a discussion about why this comedic version of Deadpool was such a refresher from the rest of Marvel's offerings. As we discussed in previous videos about Marvel Comics leading up to the 1990s, the most popular of these titles were the X-Men by and large. Under Chris Claremont, the X-Men found success with stories like God Loves Man Kills, The Dark Phoenix, and Phoenix Sagas, among others. While these stories struck a deep chord in readers in terms of how they viewed the world of comics, their serious tones combined with the constant possibility of various members dying set the stage for future Marvel stories. 1981's Avengers Annual Number 10, The Punisher Volume 1, and John Byrne's 1980 to 1986 run of the Fantastic Four were perfect examples of Marvel's recognition of stories that could be created with more dramatic and serious tones. At the time, Marvel's only real source of comedy came in the form of Spider-Man, and as Marvel's flagship character, Spider-Man's popularity was used as a way to break the monotony of darker stories. But even he saw a shift following 1984's Secret Wars crossover when his character donned the now infamous Venom symbiote in the form of a black costume. While the various stories provided under these standards of drama were compelling, the stories themselves also maintained the idea that these characters were simply that, characters on a piece of paper written by writers and drawn by artists. While this had been the standard of comic books and virtually all literary works since their inception, Joe Kelly came along with the Deadpool solo series and shattered this glass wall, providing readers with a character that was not only funny in a time of dark stories, but set the foundation for Deadpool interacting with the reader as they read the story itself. While Deadpool breaking the fourth wall is a mainstay for his character, this was not a recurring theme under Joe Kelly. While Deadpool did break the fourth wall during Joe Kelly's run, once under the influence of hallucinogens and another while sober, initial focus was put on Deadpool effectively being a parody of superheroes themselves. To this end, Joe Kelly wrote stories in a manner where Deadpool himself was well aware of the fact that he was in a comic book, and by extension would poke fun at the plot points and ask the same questions that readers would ask as to why the story was happening. Furthermore, villains and heroes like Bullseye, Thor, Captain America, and others that were previously depicted as serious or dangerous in the respective publications were depicted in silly or ridiculous ways in the Deadpool stories. Now, as mentioned before, under Joe Kelly, Deadpool broke the fourth wall twice, with its first occurrence taking place in Deadpool Volume 1, issue number 27. While in Japan disguised as an old woman, Deadpool encounters Wolverine. When Wolverine is able to detect Deadpool by his scent, he breaks the fourth wall and addresses the reader directly. This combined with his infamous Shoryuken uppercut on Kitty Pryde made the story an instant hit among Deadpool readers. While the second occurrence of Deadpool breaking the fourth wall is not as clearly done as issue number 27, In issue number 28, Deadpool is approached by Bullseye asking when the last time was that they met, where Deadpool references his own comic series, stating that their last meeting took place in issue number 16. With Joe Kelly departing the series after issue number 33, the writing duties were handed over to Christopher Priest with issue number 34, who stayed on until issue number 45, and it was here that the modern-day Deadpool was born. Capitalizing on Joe Kelly's idea of breaking the fourth wall and combining it with his own infamy as being the writer who received titles before they were cancelled, Christopher Priest made Deadpool as zany as possible. As an example, in the first few pages of his inaugural title with issue number 34, Christopher Priest depicts Deadpool traveling to his new home, representing his transition from Joe Kelly to his new writer, where he encounters all of the characters previously written by Christopher Priest who were now cancelled. Remarking that he won't end up in the same way and that he won't be cancelled and stuck on the back of a shelf, Deadpool effectively escapes by diving into a lake, which starts the beginning of the actual story. In a world of young readers whose minds were moving at an ever-increasing rate, Christopher Priest wrote Deadpool in a way that capitalized on this. Readers themselves wanted fast-paced action combined with comedy, something that Marvel was running very short on at the time. Now, as time passed, and while various writers like Gail Simone, Fabian Nicieza, Daniel Way, and Victor Gischler joined the ranks of Deadpool writers, the element of his antics, his breaking the fourth wall, and direct interaction with the reader remained one of his hallmarks, leading him to become one of the comic book industry's most unique characters. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and bring this video to an end, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.